Which video editing software should you pick if you're just starting out? There are three main platforms you're going to want to know about. The first is DaVinci Resolve, the second is Premiere Pro, and the third is CapCut, along with a few other honorable mentions. In this video, I'm going to give you a really quick breakdown of these different platforms. What are the strengths? What are the weaknesses? What are their cost points? What's the learning curve? All this stuff, so you can make an informed decision. Starting with Premiere Pro. Now, Premiere Pro is from Adobe, and it's probably, I think, fair to say the most ubiquitous video editing software. It's what most people use. It's incredibly capable, especially considering that you can also get all of the Adobe suite of products. So if you want to do motion graphics, if you want to do really complex stuff in that regard, like motion stuff, like heavy sound design, things like that, you might be really wise to go with Premiere Pro because you can get access to all of the other side apps that are going to work perfectly with it out of the box. Now, I personally do not touch Adobe products if I can help it, largely because there's a notorious problem with Premiere Pro in particular where projects tend to crash. I've had a lot of friends have this happen to them where they have spent days, weeks editing a video and then it just crashes and it's all gone. I don't know why this happens, but I've heard too many horror stories. I don't touch it for that reason. The other reason I don't touch it is the pricing model. Adobe products are subscription only. So here are your options for Premiere Pro. For Premiere itself, you can pay $31.49 a month. There's an annual plan as well. It's a bit cheaper, and that's just for Premiere Pro. If you want the selection of all of the Adobe apps to go along with it, Lightroom, After Effects, etc., then you're going to be paying $74.99 monthly. Again, there is an annual subscription as well. That'll save you a little bit of money on that. I'm given to understand that the learning curve for Premiere Pro is fairly steep, but not as crazy as our next option, DaVinci Resolve. Now, DaVinci Resolve is what I use all the time for almost everything. I run that app every single day. Damn near every movie you've ever seen has been edited or at least color graded in DaVinci Resolve. The very first problem you're going to run into, especially if you are new to this game, is the learning curve for DaVinci Resolve is incredibly steep. There are a lot of memes on the internet of you boot up DaVinci Resolve for the first time and you feel like you're in like a fighter jet cockpit. There's so much going on. But once you do figure it out, once you get a sense for what you need to be paying attention to and what is kind of ancillary, what you need to learn later on, if you need to learn it at all, it becomes pretty easy in my opinion. DaVinci Resolve specializes in color grading. This is why movies are usually edited on this, because most movies don't require fancy motion graphics or anything like that. That's for the CGI guys, right? But the actual editing, the cut editing of movies is pretty straightforward. It's mostly just hard cuts, and all you really need to be able to do at that point is color grade. You need to be able to make everything look exactly the way you need it to look. That's what DaVinci Resolve specializes in. It is a color suite before it is an editing program. There are two pricing options for DaVinci Resolve. DaVinci Resolve Studio, the official full version, is $295 one-time fee. There is also a free version you can use. I'd like to reiterate, I run a production company. I'm an executive producer. I'm editing videos for clients all day, every day. I'm still using the free version. I have yet to need to upgrade. The amount of value they give out in the free version is absolutely phenomenal. And realistically, I think I can just say DaVinci Resolve is free. And because of this, and because it focuses on color, and because I run a cinematic production company and I need the color suite, DaVinci Resolve is my go-to. It's what I use for almost everything. But I edit all of these videos because they're quite simple on CapCut. Now, CapCut is great for a couple of reasons. First of all, there is also a free version. You can get a lot done with that. I pay for the Pro version. The Pro version is $7.99 a month. Pretty reasonable. I think it is worth it, but that's up to you. But the major benefits are A, it's incredibly easy to learn. As far as editing programs go, it's probably the easiest. It's extremely intuitive. If you are new to this, if you have not been doing video editing in the past, I highly recommend starting out with CapCut. It'll get you familiar with the concept of an editing program, if that makes sense. And number two, if you need video editing to make social media content, nothing's going to be CapCut. It is designed from the ground up to make social media content. I believe they're actually bought by TikTok, or at least partnered with them, or maybe built by them. There's an affiliation there. I forget what exactly it is. Yes. TikTok and CapCut are both owned by ByteDance. CapCut is literally designed for social media content. It gets you all the animations, all of the text graphics. The auto captions are incredible. Even when I make a video in DaVinci Resolve, I usually still export it to CapCut just to get my auto captions. They do an incredible job with that. So if you are a beginner, my ultimate recommendation to you is to go ahead and start with CapCut, especially if you're making social media content. If you're trying to learn filmmaking and you want to learn more color grading, more beautiful, like cinematography kind of stuff, more so than content, then you might want to just spring for DaVinci Resolve and kind of figure it out as you go along, but that's up to you. And of course, if you're already in the Adobe Suite, it might make more sense just to stay in that. But personally, I avoid that like the plague. A few honorable mentions from the free and open source software community: Kdenlive, Shotcut, and Blender VSE. I've used all three of these. They get the job done. If you need to make really simple video edits, like really simple, they'll be great. Shotcut you could do a decent amount with. I actually started on Shotcut. That's how I first learned. All of these are free, of course, and you can install them on any operating system. And Blender VSE is surprisingly powerful. I will say it is the steepest learning curve of all of these options. And of course, I suppose I should mention, if you are on MacBooks, it might also make sense for you to go with Apple's proprietary video editing software, Final Cut Pro. I've heard good things. I'm not a Mac person, so I've never tried it. But those are all of your main video editing programs. Hopefully this makes sense. Hopefully this helps, and hopefully you can make an informed decision on which one you're going to start with. And if there's anything you want me to talk about next, drop it in the comments. I'll look into it, and have a great day.